Uh, Virgo, stop waiting. Stop thinking this is something that will happen to you if circumstances align correctly. Stop positioning yourself as observer of your own life. Because the wind that's coming, the one that's going to reshape everything, that's going to confirm everything you've been working toward, that's going to make sense of every sacrifice and every time you held yourself to impossible standards. That win doesn't arrive for people who are passively hoping. It arrives for people who are actively constructing the foundation it needs to land on, preparing the infrastructure that catches it, creating conditions that make it possible for something extraordinary to actually manifest in ordinary circumstance of their daily lives. Virgo, you're about to experience a version of success you've only imagined in private moments. Not small win, not incremental improvement. The kind of victory that changes how you see yourself, how others see you, how your entire future expands into possibilities you've been too afraid to claim out loud. And that magnitude of transformation doesn't just appear, it requires preparation from you now, before you can see it clearly, before you have proof it's coming, before you have permission to believe it's actually for you. Let me tell you what preparation looks like for someone who's about to win at level you haven't experienced yet. Mental preparation comes first. Your mind is your primary tool. It's already exceptional. Virgo doesn't get credit for how brilliant you actually are because you're too busy finding flaws in yourself to celebrate competence. But that mind needs preparation for what you're about to achieve. You need to start dismantling beliefs about what's possible for you that are outdated, that were formed when you had less information, that served protective function when you needed them, but are now ceiling instead of floor. The first mental work is believing, genuinely believing, not wishful thinking where you pretend to believe while doubt whispers underneath. Actual soul level acceptance that this magnitude of success is in a realm of possible for you specifically, that you're not exception to rule of good things happening to good people, that you actually deserve this at molecular level. That belief work is harder for Virgo than for anyone else because you see everything wrong with yourself in high definition, and your mind automatically generates argument for why you're not the person who wins at this level. You need to start arguing with that voice, not ignoring it. Virgo can't ignore things, but actively countering it with evidence. Keep running lists of everything you've accomplished that seemed impossible before you did it. Keep catalog of every time you were wrong about your own limitations. Keep physical or mental record of evidence that challenges narrative you've been telling yourself about being fundamentally insufficient. When doubt arrives, and it will, you need ammunition to fight it with, and that ammunition is your own track record. Stop accepting smaller vision of your own future. You've been imagining success as modest, achievable, realistic. And that's Virgo being practical, being cautious, being protective of self from disappointment. But the win coming is bigger than modest. It requires you to start thinking bigger, dreaming bigger, imagining outcomes that feel almost embarrassing in their magnitude. Let yourself dream that big without immediately analyzing why it won't work. Start seeing yourself as person who wins. This is identity work. Not fake it till you make it in superficial way, but genuine internal reorganization of how you perceive your own capacity. You are a person who accomplishes difficult things. You are a person who follows through. You are a person who meets or exceeds your own standards. Start living from that self-concept instead of from narrative of barely holding on. Notice where you minimize your own accomplishments, where you attribute success to luck or timing or help rather than to your actual excellence. Start taking credit. Start saying yes to recognition instead of deflecting. Because learning to receive acknowledgement for your work is preparation for receiving much larger acknowledgement you're about to get. Stop the perfectionism spiral. Virgo perfectionism is actually barrier to success at certain level because perfect never launches. Perfect never moves forward. Perfect stays frozen in analysis while people with less fear are implementing and winning. You need to recalibrate not to accept mediocrity, that's impossible for you anyway, but to accept excellent enough to move forward as sufficient. Practical preparation matters equally. Your life infrastructure needs upgrade. Not because something's wrong now, but because the level of success coming requires different physical and logistical foundation. And you can't elevate into new reality while living an old one. Start with your space. Your home is foundation for everything. Clean it, organize it, make it reflect who you want to become rather than who you were. And I'm not talking about buying new things. Virgo doesn't need external consumption to feel better. I'm talking about creating environment that supports focus, that eliminates noise, that gives your mind actual space to think. Make your bed every morning like person, preparing for victory. Organize your desk like person who takes their work seriously. Create space that makes you want to spend time in it because environment shapes mentality and mentality shapes outcomes. Your schedule needs audit. You're probably overcommitted to things that don't matter, to relationships that don't nourish you, to obligations you took on because you're reliable and people ask. And you need to start saying no with enthusiasm so you can say yes to what actually matters. The wind coming requires time and energy, and that time and energy needs to be protected from people and tasks and commitments that were never actually your responsibility. Your health requires attention, not obsessively, not perfectionist gym schedule you'll abandon in 6 weeks, but sustainable baseline, sleep that's actually sufficient, nutrition that supports brain function, movement that keeps body capable. You can't execute at highest level when you're running on fumes. Your body is tool, and right now you're probably running it on barely adequate fuel. Upgrade that. Your financial situation needs preparation too. You don't need to be rich yet. The win is coming to help with that. But you need to know your numbers, need to understand where your money goes, need to have basic systems in place so that when money arrives, you're not managing it from a position of chaos. Virgo is naturally good with details, so channel that. Create spreadsheet of your actual situation. Track everything for month. Understand baseline. This isn't about restriction, it's about clarity, and Virgo functions better from clarity. Start building emergency fund, even if it's small. Start automating savings so you stop having to choose between spending and saving. Because the financial win coming is going to be so much bigger if you've already demonstrated capacity to steward resources. Universe doesn't give elevators to people who can't climb stairs. Start demonstrating financial discipline now. Your professional infrastructure needs attention. If there's training you need, start it now. If there's skill you're missing, begin acquiring it. If there's network you need to build, start building it. You can't prepare for promotion you haven't earned credentials for. You can't access opportunities without relationships. Start that work now, not because you need it to survive, but because preparation is how you position yourself to receive what's coming. Emotional preparation is often forgotten, but critical. The win is going to bring joy, and that joy might actually feel unfamiliar. Virgo brains are more practiced at problem solving than celebration. And you need to start training yourself to actually receive good things without immediately looking for what went wrong. Start noticing good moments, pause in them. Let yourself feel pleasure without guilt. You're going to face jealousy from people who thought they knew your ceiling. You're going to experience people treating you differently once you succeed. And you need emotional preparation for how to navigate those shifts without getting tangled in, feeling like you owe anyone explanation of your own elevation. Some relationships will change. Some people won't celebrate with you. That's not failure. That's clarification of who actually deserves access to your success. Start examining your relationship with visibility. Virgo often prefers being invisible, doing excellent work in background without attention. And the win coming is going to make you visible in ways you can't control. Start practicing being seen. Start speaking up in meetings. Start claiming credit when credit is due. Start becoming comfortable with attention so visibility doesn't paralyze you when it arrives. Process your limiting beliefs about success. Virgo often has idea that successful people are different species, that achievement requires personality traits you don't possess, that you're fundamentally disqualified from certain levels of winning. And that's fiction. You need to stop telling yourself successful people are just people who showed up and did work. That's it. That's available to you. What fear comes up when you imagine yourself at level of success that's coming? Sit with it, journal about it, understand it. Because fear you don't understand controls you, and fear you look directly in face loses power. You're probably afraid of being exposed, of being found out, of not being good enough to maintain that level, of losing everything if you're not perfect, of hurting people by succeeding. Those fears are normal, and they're also lies that need to be examined. Relational preparation shapes outcome. The people in your life right now might not be people who belong in your life after you win. That's not judgment, it's mathematics. And you need to start making peace with an idea that elevation requires some people to stay at altitude they're comfortable at while you move to different altitude. Start surrounding yourself with people who are already at level you're going to reach, not to abandon your current friendships, but to add relationships with people who understand what higher level success looks like, who aren't threatened by your growth, who can mentor or mirror what you're becoming. Watch how successful people operate, learn their habits, notice how they carry themselves. Start adopting patterns that align with who you're becoming. Find mentor if you can, someone who's already won at level you're approaching. Someone who can show you navigation points you can't anticipate from where you currently stand. This person doesn't need to formally agree. Mentorship often happens through observation, but actively studying someone who's done what you're about to do is preparation. Have honest conversations with people you love about your ambitions. Stop hiding dreams because you don't want to sound arrogant. Because people who love you actually want to know who you're becoming, and keeping parts of yourself hidden from people close to you creates distance that doesn't need to exist. If they can't handle your ambition, that's information about compatibility, and you need that information before you're in position of earning money and attention and success and having nowhere safe to celebrate it. Spiritual or philosophical preparation matters. Virgo often dismisses anything that can't be measured as unimportant, and that's limitation. You need something bigger than yourself that you're working toward. Some philosophy or spiritual practice or value system that transcends individual achievement and gives it meaning. What do you want your success to be for? Not just, I want to make money or I want recognition, but what impact, what change, what legacy, and yes, Virgo, legacy matters, even if thinking about it makes you uncomfortable. Who benefits from your winning? What becomes possible because you succeeded? Starting to think about this anchors your achievement in something larger than ego. Develop gratitude practice, not toxic positivity that denies difficulty, but genuine acknowledgement of what's already working, what's already present, what you're already privileged to have. Gratitude for current state creates energetic foundation for expansion into new state. Consider what integrity looks like for you, what compromises you won't make, what values you won't sacrifice for success. Because sometimes winning requires choosing authentic path over fast path, and you need to know your own answer before you're in position of choosing. The daily practices that accumulate into victory. You don't prepare for win of lifetime through dramatic gestures. You prepare through small daily choices that compound. And Virgo understands compounding better than any other sign because you see how details accumulate into systems. Start morning with intention, 5 minutes. What are you building toward today? What small action moves you closer? Write it down. And then move through day being intentional rather than reactive. End day with reflection. What worked? What didn't? What do you need to adjust? This is Virgo's natural pattern. Channel it productively towards self-improvement rather than self-criticism. Read something that expands your thinking, not social media, something substantial, something that challenges your current worldview or teaches you something you need to know. Because the person who wins at highest level is a person who keeps learning. Move your body intentionally. Doesn't have to be intense, but move. Because moving shifts neurochemistry, releases stagnation, creates different perspective on problems. Do one thing that makes you uncomfortable. Not dangerous, but uncomfortable. Because comfort is where growth goes to die, and you're not preparing for comfortable win. You're preparing for transformation. Connect with vision regularly. Create visual representation of what you're preparing for, not vision board in precious way, but actual image or description of what success looks like, what your life contains when this win arrives. Review it weekly, Update it as it clarifies. Let your brain start believing that this is where you're headed. Write letter to yourself from perspective of having already won. What do you say to present self from that vantage point? What advice? What encouragement? Read it when doubt arrives, preparing for the transition itself. The moment the win arrives, whether it's job offer or financial breakthrough or recognition you've been working toward, your brain is going to have an initial response of disbelief because you've been mentally preparing, but reality still surprises. Don't panic. Don't immediately start finding reasons it's not real or ways it could fall apart. Pause, breathe, let yourself actually receive it. You're going to want to tell everyone immediately. Resist that urge with some of it, because not everyone has earned right to your joy. And some people will spend energy finding problems you haven't even considered yet. Share first with people who've been supporting your growth, who've believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself. You're going to second guess immediately. Can I actually do this? Am I actually ready? What if I fail? These thoughts will come. They're normal. They're also not required to be believed. You've prepared for this. You are ready. You're going to do this. There's going to be a period of adjustment. Don't expect to immediately feel like successful person. That identity shift takes time. And you're going to feel imposter for a while, even though you earned this through preparation and work. Imposter syndrome is just your Virgo brain catching up to new reality. Let it catch up. Don't let it paralyze you. You're going to discover that success comes with problems you never anticipated. More money creates tax questions. More visibility creates criticism. More responsibility creates pressure. And those aren't reasons to regret success. They're just a reality of operating at higher level. You can handle them. You've prepared yourself to adapt. What preparation actually means. I'm not telling you to become a different person. I'm telling you to become more fully yourself, the self that's already there, already capable, already worthy. Preparation is about clearing obstacles so that self can actually expand into space it deserves. The win is coming. This isn't question, it's certainty. You've already put foundational work in, now you're in stage where consistent preparation determines how fully you can receive it and how sustainably you can maintain it. Virgo, your excellence hasn't been accident. Your competence isn't coincidence. And the win that's approaching is a logical outcome of who you actually are. When you stop doubting yourself, start preparing now, not from panic, from calm certainty that you're getting ready for something you've already earned. Begin with mind. Shift belief about what's possible for you. Hold that belief steady even when doubt arrives, because doubt is just an old pattern, and new pattern is that you win at things you commit to. Move into practical realm. Clean your space. Organize your time. Build your health. Order your finances. These aren't frivolous. These are infrastructure for success to land on. Tend your relationships. Surround yourself with people who see you clearly. Find mentors who've done what you're doing, because isolation at high level is dangerous, and you need people who understand the altitude you're reaching. Connect with something bigger than yourself. Let your success be in service of something that matters. Because achievement divorced from purpose gets hollow pretty quickly. Build daily practices that compound. Small choices multiplied across time become epic transformation. And Virgo knows this intellectually, even if you sometimes forget it emotionally. The win of a lifetime is coming for you. It's not maybe, it's not if, it's when. And when it arrives, you want to be ready to receive it fully, to hold it securely, to expand into it gracefully. That readiness starts now, not in panic, not in rushing, but in consistent, deliberate preparation. The same way you prepare for everything that matters thoroughly, carefully, completely. Start today. Start small. Start with belief that you deserve this. Everything else follows from that foundation. And I promise you, Virgo, when that win arrives and you look back at preparation you did in this season, you're going to be grateful to yourself for taking this seriously. You're ready. You just need to believe it. Everything else you're already prepared for. Trust that. Trust yourself. The win is coming.